Hi everyone, I'm Asha, an Akashic Records reader, blogger, and podcaster. In this series, we will demystify the Akashic Records by bringing to you bite-sized contents on frequently asked questions relating to the Akashic Records. We will also explore topics relating to spirituality, as well as practical application, learnings, and reflections in the Akashic Records. My Akashic Masters are very excited to join us in this journey. We send much love, light, and blessings to all. Welcome to episode 34 on what I have learned from the extended COVID-19 outbreak. It has been almost 1.5 years since the first COVID-19 case was reported. How time flew by indeed. Since then, many countries have gone into lockdowns periodically and imposed tough measures in a bid to control the COVID-19 outbreak. As the COVID-19 virus evolves and affects us for an extended period, many countries have to delicately balance between relaxing the measures to allow businesses and economy to operate as usual versus further tightening the measures to protect people from being infected. So what does that mean at an individual level? To me, it means that changes are abound, whether we like them or not, be it government policies, work routines, and even daily lifestyle. Most of us would have experienced how these changes have completely disrupted our past routines, be it mandatory work in office culture, physical interactions with people, expectations of overseas holidays, and many more. Today, I would like to take time to reflect on what I have learned from the extended COVID-19 outbreak. The purpose is to mindfully allow myself to take stock of the learnings to date instead of operating on autopilot. 1. Cherishing every moment, every day of my life to the best of my ability. COVID-19 outbreak is a daily reminder for me not to take things for granted. It brings into focus the fragility of human life, how our lives can be at the mercy of a virus or extended factors beyond our control. It reminds me that life is unpredictable. We can never truly know for sure when we will die, how we will die, and where we will go after death. Further, our Akashic Masters do not usually reveal these answers to us because it stops us from living our lives to the best of our ability. Hence, it is in my highest good to focus on and cherish every moment, every day of my life, reminding myself to live each day mindfully and purposefully to the best of my ability, so that whenever my life ends, I have no regrets and I will be ready for the next lifetime. 2. Maintaining a daily practice is essential for my sanity and overall well-being. My daily practice at home revolves around morning meditation, jogging or brisk walking in nature, self-reiki, yin yoga, evening meditation, and sometimes reflections. At first glance, my daily practice might seem overly intense or even onerous. Rest assured, it is far from the truth. Ever since I started and maintained my daily practice during the COVID-19 outbreak, it has brought me immense calm and peace within. That didn't happen overnight, but it built up gradually over time. I became less reactive and less prone to anger, frustrations, and other dense emotions. My daily practice allowed me to revisit my perspectives and realize that I don't need to cling on to dense emotions, and I don't need to be stuck with people or situations that make me feel miserable. Therefore, it motivated me to learn and put into practice diligently how to release or unstuck myself from energies, emotions, memories, and imprints that no longer serve me. In a sense, my daily practice brought and continues to bring me closer to my soul's essence residing within, that it is not mission impossible to ultimately be one with my divine self residing within. Importantly, my daily practice is essential for my sanity and overall well-being amidst the daily barrage of negative reports and collective fears and worries experienced by the mass consciousness. In essence, I learned to focus on what I can and to release what I can't. 3. Practicing gratitude towards the silent heroes in my life. Not too long ago, I used to think that I operate independently in this world, and that all my achievements were the result of my own efforts. What I didn't realize back then was my perspectives were very limited. I was unable to see beyond what my mind allowed me to see. The COVID-19 outbreak reminded me that I operate and survive in an interconnected world, which I have taken for granted. When countries initially took turns to enter into lockdown, supply chains were disrupted. For the first few months, there were reports everywhere of long queues forming in supermarkets, and people were snapping up groceries, canned food, instant noodles, and even toilet paper. Some supermarkets even had to impose restrictions on the maximum purchase by each customer to ensure sufficient supply for other customers. As the COVID-19 situation worsened, it reminded me that all my basic necessities, like food, water, and shelter, were dependent on others. For example, my home-cooked food depended on my mom, and each ingredient came from the supermarkets, which in turn depended on their staff, the logistics companies, distributors, producers, and many more. Even the process of cooking my food depended on the stable supply of gas, water, and electricity. Without any of these individual contributors, I wouldn't be able to enjoy my home-cooked food as it is. It also reminded me not to take my parents' sacrifices and contributions for granted. Without them, I wouldn't be able to enjoy my current incarnation on earth and be who I am today. Each time I return to the hospital for my outpatient visits, I am reminded of the sacrifices made by the frontline medical staff, that each of them have their families who similarly fear and worry about their safety and well-being. Yet, they continue to soldier on to discharge their duties well. Because of them, I am able to receive prompt and professional medical care. May I continue to be reminded of my interconnectedness to the world and practice gratitude to everyone around. Masters, would you have any thoughts to share with us? Dear children, it is good to take time to reflect on everything taken for granted in your life. Through that process, we realize so much more about ourselves and how we operate in this interconnected world. How often do we check in with ourselves and discover more about ourselves and the world we operate in? This is especially important in turbulent times like these. It makes us feel calm, peaceful, and appreciative of everyone's efforts and contributions towards securing what we presently have and the future we desire. It helps us to see the world and the people around us in a compassionate and positive light. The world needs more light to shine at this stage. You can contribute to the light through your individual thoughts, words, speech, and action. You are a part of this world as much as this world is a part of you. With love and blessings, Asha and Akashic Masters. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. If you would like to read about my dialogues and reflections with the Akashic Masters, you can visit my free blog at asha-akashicrecords.com. Till next time, take care.